Hey, hello guys, how you doing? It's your boy Mason Taps, and welcome to the motivational channel. For anybody that do not know, this is the YouTube channel where we try to kind of like educate, enlighten, and kind of like help each other, giving each other tips and advices of how to get through life. Basically, as you know, life can be a bit stressful. Sometimes you just need a bit of inspiration here and there. So yeah, ladies and gents, for anybody who's never seen any of my videos, I'm gonna say welcome, and hopefully you will stick around and see plenty to come. So yeah, ladies and gents, today I want to talk about something that is a bit more philosophical, a bit more like like deep thinking and stuff, and a bit more spiritual. And I'm just hoping this is gonna help somebody out there, and this just kind of educating, kind of like enlightening somebody today. And if it's gonna help somebody today, you know what, like I always say, I do not care about views, I do not care about popularity. I do not do these videos for fame, I do not do these videos for money, I do not do these videos for any other reason apart from helping somebody. Even if I can just help just the one person, do you know what, that's gonna make me feel so happy. I'll sleep well at night. So ladies and gents, today I want to talk about the God within you, or the divine self. And I'm going to try to explain for those that are a bit confused, and for anybody who is not religious, do not worry, I'm not getting all religious in you. I'm not preaching nothing to you, but this is something that has been termed different names. But for the sake of argument and for simplicity, we're just gonna call it the God self, or the God consciousness. Right, so first of all, let's try to describe what is a God self, or what is a God consciousness. As you all know, I want you to picture this, and I want you to visualize this. Just imagine, draw a circle, like a really big circle, like an invisible circle, okay? And right on the middle, place a dot on it. So a circle, big circle, and place a dot. And just outside that dot, place another circle, right? So really what you should have is a dot, a circle, and a bigger circle around it. Now, the dot that you've just placed, that's your conscious mind. Okay? The dot that you just placed on the middle, that's your conscious mind. And the circle around that dot, that's your subconscious mind. And the bigger circle that is around the smaller circle, and that is around the dot, that is the God consciousness. Now the God consciousness is the bigger circle that is encompassing all the circles, or everything within that dot. That is the best way to describe the God consciousness. As you all know, our consciousness, or our conscious self, we are 10% of our mind is our conscious mind, and 90%, a big chunk of your mind, is your subconscious mind. And for anybody that has never seen any of my videos, because I always talk about this pretty much in any of the videos that I do make, the conscious mind is the kind of mind that you rely on an every day-to-day basis to make decisions, to make choices. It is kind of like your analytical mind, the mind that chooses through different options, and it chooses the right option, or the best possible option. So this is the mind. Let's try to simplify it. It's actually the analytical mind, the mind that analyzes and make decisions for you. Now the subconscious mind is a big chunk, or a big pool of information and characteristics and beliefs and all kind of indoctrination that you have accumulated all over the years. All the information that you have believed it to be true, and you've stored inside you, and this is kind of like your name, your characteristics, your likes, your dislikes, your hobbies, your preferences in life, and all those things. These are all stored inside your subconscious mind. So everything that you have always chosen and believed it to be true, and you've stored inside your memory disk, your big memory disk, which is your subconscious mind. This is what encompasses your subconscious mind. Now, outside of all those beliefs in your consciousness, there is another mind. Now, this mind, like I said, 90% is the subconscious mind, and 10% is your conscious mind. So that makes it 100 in it. But outside of that 100, outside of all this consciousness, this is where the God consciousness is. Because the God consciousness is the whole you. The God consciousness is connected to the universe. The God consciousness is connected to everything else and to everybody else. The God consciousness is the one that makes up everything. It's the one that makes up the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. All of these things, they emanate or they germinate from the God consciousness. But the thing about the God consciousness is this: it is connected to all possibilities. It does not know no limits. It does not know no limitation. The God consciousness, this is where the miracles happen. This is where magic happens. This is where mysticism happens. This is where all the doors of success, of the doors of opportunities, this is where the keys are locked in. This is where you're going to find the keys, because the God consciousness is open to all possibilities. It's open to everything that you've always wished for, or anything that you wanted to happen. It is actually like a magic box, okay, where everything can just happen just like that. This is where the magic wand is kept. Now, your subconscious mind is, like I said, 90% of your mind, and it is the one that is your driving force. Normally, when we make decisions, or when we make life-changing decisions, your conscious mind, which is 10% of your mind, it depends on the information that is stored in the subconscious mind. So whenever you want to make a decision, whether it's a quick decision or a long-term decision, you are given different choices that are made available to you by your subconscious mind. So everything that you have believed to be true, this conscious mind will just tap into it. That's how you make your mind. So basically, I've just described to you how your mind works, essentially. Now, your God consciousness, ladies and gents, is the one that is connected to everything. As you all know, you are infinite conscious energy. That's what you are. You are not your flesh and bones. You are definitely not your beliefs and your indoctrinations. You are not your subconscious mind. You're definitely not your conscious mind. You are an infinite conscious energy. Now, that infinite conscious energy, this is what makes up the God consciousness. The infinite conscious energy is the one that is connected to the whole universe. This is God, basically. Now, for those people, even though I said I'm not going to be preaching on you, I'm not going to go religious on you, but for those people that are religious, especially the Christians, you will probably recall this biblical verse that says the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. So what does this verse actually mean when it says the kingdom of God is within you? Now, when it is said the kingdom of God is within you, basically this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the divine self that makes up your fabric, that makes up yourself. Basically, this is where God resides. And when we said where God resides, we're talking about your God self. that which we call God, or that they have called God, is not somewhere out there. Because a lot of people, especially the religious ones, religious fundamentalists, they think God is somewhere out there, somewhere in the sky. God is somewhere. God is somewhere in a building. God is somewhere in a sacred building where you go and pray, where you go and pay reverences and sing along and whatever. God is actually within you, because you are part of God. You are God, essentially. Do you know what I'm saying? You are a hologram of a bigger hologram. This is what God is. God is you. God is within you. A lot of people, they do not understand. And I'm going to give you another biblical verse. I'm sorry for those people who aren't religious, but I'm going to give you another biblical verse. It says, stand still and know that I am God. This is another famous biblical verse. It says, stand still and know that I am God. Now, this statement, or this biblical verse, is actually true, because when you're standing still, what it actually referring to is you to quieten down both of your minds. Switch off your conscious mind, switch off your subconscious mind, and when you switch both of them off, you are left with nothing else but God consciousness. So stand still, because as you know, our mind is always rushing. Our mind is all over the place, 100 miles an hour. We are always constantly thinking. So that's what meditation essentially is. Meditation is actually quieting both of your minds, switching off your minds. Because when you meditate, thinking really, using your conscious mind, using your subconscious mind, you switch both of those engines off. And when you switch both of those engines off, you are left with the God consciousness. Because God consciousness speaks in a language of silence. You cannot use any man-made language to speak to God. You cannot use English, Shona, French, Italian, whatever language it is, to speak to God, because God does not speak none of these languages. God speaks in silence. And the only way to speak to God is by intentionally choosing to align yourself with and identifying yourself or engulf yourself in this higher self, in this God consciousness. Right, so if anybody is still wondering, okay, Mason, you told us about this God consciousness which is deep down inside you, and by the way, before I forget, I just need to make this point quickly. A lot of people, we are not attuned and we are not aligned to this God consciousness, for the simple reason of that we are always identifying ourselves to materialism. We are identifying ourselves to our flesh and bones. We identify ourselves to our indoctrinated beliefs that makes up our subconscious mind. We identify ourselves to everything that other people have described to us or think of us. And we identify ourselves with it. Because as you know, everything is mind. And it's just up to you. It's all in the mind. Everything is mind. So when you intentionally, okay, so going back to that question, how can I connect to this God consciousness? How can I connect and live my life permanently connected to this higher self, or to this divine self, or this God self? The simple answer is obviously it's not just as simple as today I'm just gonna be God. No, it needs a bit of work, right? And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna give you a tip of how to do that, and you just need to keep on working on it. You need to intentionally tell yourself or tell your mind that today, tomorrow, this week, next month, and the month after, and the whole year, and the years after, I am going to intentionally attune and align myself to the God consciousness which is within me. I intentionally align and attune myself to my higher self, to my God self, where empathy reside, where sympathy reside, where love reside. Love, obviously, it vibrates on a higher frequency. Love obviously conquers everything, because everything, like I said, everything is energy. So anything that is operating on a higher frequency is definitely gonna bring solutions, is gonna bring happiness, is gonna bring is gonna bring answers to all of your trials and tribulations, all of your questions. So that's where love comes in, and love is abundant in this God consciousness. So you say to yourself, I want to intentionally align and attune myself to my higher self, my divine self, my God conscious self. That's what you do, ladies and gents. And if you say today, I want to connect myself and align myself to my higher self, this is me. I identify myself with my God self. Identify myself with my my higher upper self. I do not identify myself with my conscious mind. I do not identify myself with my subconscious mind. I intentionally choose to align and connect myself to my higher self. This, ladies and gents, by saying this statement, that's how you connect yourself to this higher self. Let me just get a drink. Excuse me. It's a bit warm here. Yeah, sorry, ladies and gents. So basically, that's how you connect yourself to your higher self. But it needs intentions. It needs focus. It needs, because we all have got free will. That's the thing about the universe. That's the gift of the universe. The universe gave us free will. So it's up to you to make us choices. It's up to you to make up a choice of what you want. But the choice have to intentionally, deliberately, and wholeheartedly come from within you. If you say to yourself, I intentionally, wholeheartedly want to align myself to my higher consciousness, because simple words, simple statement like that, all you would just have done is to switch off, turn off the engine of the conscious mind, turn off the engine of the subconscious mind, and you are now connected. You are now left with the God consciousness, the higher self, the divine self. So ladies and gents, the kingdom of God is within you. And lots of people, that's why there's so much stress and distress and confusion out there, because a lot of people, obviously the religious people, have given this infinite conscious energy the mind of everything. They've called it God, and a lot of people, they think, and they even give it a masculinity. They refer to this God as a he. But in all truthfulness, God is actually an infinite conscious energy. God is the mind of everything. All is mind. But the mind that we have, we've got three minds. Like I said, we are three in one. This is the Holy Trinity. We are three in one. We've got the conscious mind, we've got the subconscious mind, and we've got this divine self. And it is this divine self that you need to attune to. Let it grow, let it come out, let it flourish. But it can only flourish when you switch off the ego. It can only flourish when you get rid of the indoctrinations, when you get rid of all the beliefs that you've had, when you get rid of the identification of the self with the materialism. Because when you identify yourself with the matter, you are actually blinding yourself, because the matter is an illusion. Everything that you see as a matter is actually just an illusion. Because our real self, we are not flesh and bones. Because a lot of people, when you ask them, who are you, they try to describe their physicality. and they try to describe themselves in reference of indoctrinations and beliefs such as your name, your surname, or the country of birth, your family, or your culture, your religion, whatever. A lot of people try to identify and describe themselves in these terms, but this is all materialism. This is all matter. But you are not matter. You are an infinite conscious energy, or in other words, you are spirit. And it is spirit that made up everything. It is spirit that makes up all matter. Okay, matter came out of spirit. This, what you see in this universe, or in this, on this world, on this earth, everything that you see came out of matter, came out of the invisible world, basically. But it is the invisible world that's where everything is created. So in this invisible world, this is where God is, and this is the God consciousness that resides within you. So by it deliberately and intentionally and wholeheartedly, you can't do this half-heartedly. You can't do that half-heartedly. You have to do it wholeheartedly. So it has to come from the bottom of your heart, and it has to come with all of your mind. You can't just do that and just say, basically what I'm trying to say, you can't just be half-hearted about it. It has to be intentionally and with total will and belief that there is something majestic, something marvelous, something miraculous about you that is deep within you. And that thing is you. That is the real you. That thing does not suffer no death, physical death. That thing is existent. It's been existing from the beginning of time, and it's going to be existing. It's, as a matter of fact, it's outside the realm of space and time. It's outside the realm of space and time. That's what this thing is. Language, words, we are short of words to even describe, to clearly describe this infinite conscious energy that we are talking about. And that is God, ladies and gents. God is within you, and you are it. So when people said you are God, what it actually means is you are part of this fragmented energy that it makes up each and every one of us. So this infinite conscious energy is in fragments, and this fragments is us, is everything, is the trees, is the grass, the mountains, everything in creation. But the thing that separates us from like the trees and the animals is that we are consciously aware of the universe. We are aware of everything. That's what makes us special. That's what differentiates. I mean, everything is special, obviously, but that's what differentiates us from other creatures in other creation. But the most important thing is we are infinite conscious energy. We are this God that is deep within us. So by intentionally, wholeheartedly, and deliberately saying to yourself, I choose to align myself to this higher self, to this God self. This is how I want to live my life from today and forever, every single day. Whenever I'm faced with trials and tribulations, I quieten my mind. I quieten both my conscious mind and my subconscious mind. This is the definition of meditation, ladies and gents. So when people say because meditation, all it is simply switching off your mind, switching off both of your minds. A lot of people, they totally misunderstand what meditation is. Meditation is just an effortless silence. That's all it is, because God speaks in silence. God speaks. When people say, I want to talk to God, the simplest and the easiest and the rightful way of talking to God is just by quietening both of your minds and be in total silence, because everything that you need, everything, all the answers to your problems, all the solutions to all the answers to your questions, and all the solutions to all of your problems are all inside the God consciousness, inside the higher self. So by you aligning myself and quietening everything else and living in that bliss, total bliss of silence, you're going to see miracles happen. You're going to see magic happen. You're going to see unlimited opportunities. You're going to see unlimited there's no limitations of what you can do. There is no impossibilities in this God consciousness, because matter, the material world, it limits us, because the material world is all illusion. This is all just a maya, or a maya is just an illusion. But the spiritual world, the God consciousness self, that's the real you. This is where magic happens. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm repeating myself here, but I need to emphasize this point because it's really, really important. If you want to see changes in yourself, if you want to see visible changes manifesting themselves in your life, all you have to do, switch off both of your engines, switch off your conscious mind, switch off your subconscious mind, and remember and be always mindful that there is something majestic, something bigger that is embedded inside you. This is what makes encompass the whole circle. This is the bigger circle that is connected to other circles out there. Do you know what I'm saying? Your circle, your God consciousness. Remember what I told you about that big circle? That circle is connected to other circles out there. Everybody's got a circle around them, and all those circles, they make up. I don't know if you know this picture or pictogram of this flower of life. It's made up of all circles that are interconnected. This is exactly what we're talking about, ladies and gents. We are talking about something that is interconnected. That's why if you've probably heard some mystic teachers teaching you that all is one, that everything is one. And this is actually true, because everything is one. It is just that bigger circle, your circle, is connected to other circles, and all other circles make up one big circle that is God. It's all holographic. We live in a holographic reality, or a holographic universe. Ladies and gents, I'm going to summarize this video quick for you. The kingdom of God is within you. There is something divine inside you. You are a divine conscious energy. You are a divine spirit. You are not flesh and bones. There is something deep, something majestic, something divine, something big that is outside space and time. That is outside the realm of space and time. That is outside your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And this thing, or this, whatever you want to call it, some people have called it God, but I prefer to just call it infinite conscious energy, or the mind, or the one. This is you. This is what's inside you. So whenever you ever hear people saying you are God, that's exactly what they are referring to. You are something majestic. God is not in a building. God is not somewhere out there. A lot of people, they totally do not understand what is a prayer. A lot of people, they think praying is getting on your knees, clapping your hands, and talking to some deity, some being out there, speaking in English, speaking in man-made languages. But God does not speak in any language, ladies and gents. God speaks in silence. And the true definition of prayer basically is quietening both of your minds and remain silent. Be living in the moment of silence, when you do not identify yourself with your flesh and bones, when you do not identify yourself with your identity, when you do not identify yourself with your name, your country, your sexuality, or everything that you've been indoctrinated since you was young, whether by your family, whether at school, at work, by your colleagues, by your neighbors. This is the real you, ladies and gents. This is the God within you. This is where the possibilities of all possibilities resides. This is where unlimited opportunities and unlimited solutions, unlimited manifestations reside. That is your higher self. That is your God self. So just in case you totally forget, or because I said a lot of things in this video, just remember this: deep within you there is something majestic, and that majestic is you. It is you. But we have been given a free choice to make up our mind and to make up a choice whether we want to align ourselves with our conscious mind or our subconscious mind, or we want to align ourselves with our divine self, our higher self. So if you make that decision that I want to live my life, I want to permanently align and connect myself to this higher self that resides in me, that makes up me, because you are a composition of a lot of things. You are a composition of matter, you are a composition of the conscious mind, you are a composition of the subconscious mind. But the thing that really makes you, ladies and gentlemen, the real driving force, the real architect, the grand master, the grand mind, the grand designer, is actually your higher self, your infinite conscious self, which does not suffer no physical death, which does not know no impossibilities, which is connected to everything. This is where the magic happens. This is where miracles happen. This is where manifestations happen. But you need to intentionally, wholeheartedly, and deliberately say, this is where I want to connect this is how I want to live my life. I want to permanently connect myself to my higher self. I am not my ego. I am not my conscious mind. I am not my subconscious mind. I am not all my indoctrinations. I am not what other people have described me to be. I am my higher divine self. I am God. Okay, so ladies and gents, so hopefully you have a good day. Stay blessed, and hopefully I'm going to make more videos that's going to help you. And like I always say, I hope this is going to enlighten and help somebody, or probably just trigger somebody to think, and or maybe to just inspire them to go and do a little bit more research and try to get more information about this. Because like I always say, I never claim to be an expert or an authority in any of the things that I say. These are all just my thoughts and opinion. But if you want to go and do some more research, you can go and find out about this thing for yourself. Okay, but what I'm really what I want to do is to make you think, to make you use logic and reasoning, and to make you understand that there's something majestic, something bigger than you are, something majestic. You're something bigger than you ever given credit to yourself. Okay, so ladies and gents, you look after yourself, stay blessed, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon. Yeah, all right, bye bye.